Ruslan.
Carl Lentz releases new trailer for a documentary series he did with FX about Hillsong. And we're going to be looking at it in all its glory. I brought some guests along. We got my guy Ray Rock in the house and John Keith.
The truth doesn't go anywhere just because you cover it up.
I don't like you, but I love you.
Hillsong is a megachurch. And
Okay. Shout out to whoever put together this trailer. From a quality standpoint, it's pretty stunning.
It definitely looks like a horror movie. You know what I'm saying? And I know that's what's about to happen right now. It's going to break my heart.
Oh man.
God.
All right.
Carl Lentz is the celebrity pastor.
Carl, you're so charming.
People idolize him.
There is a sense that pastors can be.
Oh, there's that photo.
Oh, man.
There's that photo.
the
Every celebrity pastor's goal.
My man with the V.
With the V going crazy. Calm down.
It was cool.
We all want to
It was cool. It was cool. So when does coolness in ministry become a tool and a utility to reach people? And when does it become a hindrance and something that is enabled to let people do unthinkable things?
What is...
My brother, you just came out the gate swinging like that.
Because that was the thing though. Cool. Hillsong's cool. Carl Lentz is cool. The pack of pastors, they're all cool, right?
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
And then he just disappeared.
He didn't just disappear, guys. Something happened that we all know about. And he confessed to it, and he's been open about it. So he didn't just disappear. The way this is framed is like
I don't know about it.
And he just stop.
I'm serious. I don't know what happened. I know he left. I know he got caught up in some kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know
what happened.
Yeah, that's what happened. He put it on. He put an Instagram thing, repented to his wife, went and got help, and dealt with it.
I had some major lies.
He said, I have been unfaithful.
Sheesh.
Carl was fired by Hillsong leader Brian Houston, but there was something larger happening at this church. People were putting things together. Brian's unraveling was bound to happen. They were protecting something. What are they protecting?
Oh man. So they're about to tell us what they were protecting here in a second. And let me just tell you guys that it's
Darkness.
Brian's pushing people to the limit.
Hillsong culture is loyalty to Hillsong.
There was a series of violent criminal acts against children.
Did you cover
Oof. Oh, man. This is breaking my heart, yo.
up your father's sex abuse?
This is a sickness of the highest order.
There was a series of violent criminal acts against children.
Did you cover up your father's sex abuse?
They had meetings about not telling anyone. It's child abuse, labor abuse, sexual assault.
We are fearful of what is ahead.
I've never seen anything like this.
This is a church we're talking about.
This is a sickness of the highest order.
Man.
all right. So The Secrets of Hillsong, it is coming this month, I believe. And I have a clip coming out with Tim Ross addressing some of the behind the scenes of how this came to be. Those of you guys that are in our online community know what Tim Ross already said about this. So that is going to be coming out very soon, because there's a story behind the story of how this even happened. Because a lot of people are like, "Yo, why is Lentz even doing this?" Right? Like you're at Transformation with Mike Todd. You're doing this whole thing.
He's at Transformation now.
He's at Transformation
wow,
now. Yeah. And so so the framing of this is pretty brutal, and seems like it's kind of like his turn out. Now, when this first came out, I remember doing the Lentz thing, reacting to him stepping down. And I remember people in my comments being like, Brian Houston has no leg to stand on because of the stuff he's embroiled with his dad. And he's since got a DUI charge out here in California after claiming that he didn't struggle with alcohol. And so it's like, yo, he's making Carl Lentz the scapegoat and making him this wild, crazy character. And he's owned some of that. But Brian Houston, the head of all Hillsong, is on trial right now for allegedly covering up his father's essay.
His father's
Yes,
essay.
he knew about his father's essay, who's also a pastor, covered it up or didn't report it. And so, and I was like, really? Like that sounds too much. you know? And so it sounds like this is being framed as you know, Carl Lentz giving his side of the story with regards to some of the culture that's seemingly top down of this institution, which, by the way, I have friends that still go to Hillsong. They're saying they're turning a new leaf. They're attempting to do better. They got new leadership, new elders, the whole bit.
Hillsong, Brian Houston and his father, definitely, like, Trev, you got things to answer for. But I feel like as a Christian, Carl Lentz, like, jumping on this, I feel like there's already a thing where it's like, yo, the world has this. How many different, like, ways can we highlight all of the falls and the, you know what I'm saying, like the slip ups of the church, so that everyone has these images and this viewpoint of the church that is full of molesters, liars, greedy people that are all about money and hypocrites and all this stuff. And it's like, man, it's definitely tiring. I wanted to go to Hillsong College when I was a kid. I was like, oh man, I want
crazy.
You know, I wanted to back when I wanted to be a pastor. I wanted to grow up, go to Hillsong College, and you know, all of that. But it's like they influence so much of the church and church culture for so long, and then it's like, oh man, you don't want it to be the case, but it's like every time you see something like that, you know, it feels like what comes next is some kind of scandal. It feels like it's just, you know, inevitable.
Yeah. What you think?
Man, my heart is broken, but at the same time, I've heard so many messages by Carl Lentz, like good messages. I remember a particular message that he preached on the Holy Spirit and about how we need to be humble and transparent, and just remembering that sermon and then seeing how everything played out is it's a reminder of how you can have certain convictions, you know what I'm saying, and still struggle with playing those out in your life. You know, if we're all honest about ourselves, there are things that we can convey with our words that we're still trying to work out in our lives, because to expose yourself and call your own foul is not easy. And what comes to my mind is I'm hoping that this particular documentary is like, hey, I'm calling my foul, but I'm also calling out what made me, you know, because a part of the journey of us moving forward is us taking responsibility for the things that we've done, right? But also us realizing that there are other things at work that played into who we became. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, hurt people, you know, and I hope that this becomes, I hope that I just want to be charitable, and I hope that it's going to come out that way.
I would hope that he says at some point in this that, like, yo, this is a result of, like, fallen man and not a result of God. Like, all of this stuff that's happened in this joint,
Right.
because that's the other thing. It's like, this always gets painted like, oh, these are God's people.
Right.
And it's like, okay, but we have to start, like, differentiating that this was fallen people. This is not a reflection of God or his heart or what he would call good, like, at all, you know? So
Yeah.
Are we addicted to a certain, like, aesthetic? Like, are we addicted to a certain perfection? Like, is that it? Like, and here's what I mean by that. What I mean by that is that, you know, what's coming to my mind is, like, you know, this whole Matt Chandler thing, right? He called his foul early.
Yep.
He was like early.
Yep.
But here's what happens. When you call your foul that early, people assume the worst.
yeah,
When you don't call your foul early enough, people assume the worst.
yeah,
You know, and, like, what would it take for us? I prefer people calling their foul early. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What would it take for us to rebrand Christianity where there is a space for men of God to be human, make mistakes, and call their fouls early?
I think the tough part with all of that is that how we may have, I don't know if this is how we got here, but how we may have got here is the rebranding of Christianity.
Right.
Like, Christianity is a very broad, diverse faith with thousands of different camps and views and all that sort of stuff. And so I think we got here because of this need to rebrand. And so then people got platformed that weren't necessarily the most solid in their character or solid in their theology.
Yeah.
And they got platformed probably prematurely.
Yeah.
If I'm just examining from the outside in, probably prematurely. And why? Because they were charismatic, because they were cool, because they had access, because they were good speakers, and not because of the requirements seen in 1 Timothy 3 for an elder, Titus for an elder. And so I think the rebranding is what got us here. And so I just go,
when do you think that rebranding started, Ruslan?
I think during the social media craze.
Really?
Like I think when we discovered that you can be cool and the aesthetic of cool came before holiness, right? And so we know of all these stories behind the scenes of these dudes drinking and all kinds of, I've heard it from multiple individual sources that like, it has not been uncommon for multiple dudes to be just drinking too much, getting drunk, and pastors confront, like I know a pastor personally that confronted Lentz to his face and was never invited to anything again.
Yeah.
In New York City, to his face, called him like, yo, y'all crossed this line a long time ago. This is no longer we had a beer. This is you guys are drunk. You're out of control. This is years before any of this stuff came out. So I think the aesthetic of they're cool, they dress cool, they're friends with the celebrities, yada yada. I think that came. And so I would say around the time of the social media, right when social media exploded, it seemed like we had this aspirational need for celebrities to represent us, and that exploded, and they happened simultaneously.
Yeah. I mean,
what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if
you can take it, Ruslan, by the way.
Whenever I feel like the Hillsong explosion happened before. I feel like Hillsong was the rebranding of it. Like I think
that's interesting. So you think it was before social?
I think it was before social media.
I think it's way before Hillsong. But I want to hear your take.
I feel like Hillsong is when that is when everything started getting like, oh, you know. Now everybody wants to have every churches should have a band, like a band, not like a worship team. I mean, like a band where, we should be making songs. We should be trying to put out songs. We should be the youth pastors. Oh, this is the cool, bro. There's so many churches in San Diego even where like I would go back when I was a kid and I would go to their youth group or whatever. And it's just like, I don't fit in here because everybody dresses a certain way.
Because you don't have Chelsea boots and a leather jacket.
Exactly. The leather jacket, the stupid, the hats that was going for a while. Like all of that stuff.
The high fade.
All of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so like there was that thing, and then it got worse with social media. You know what I'm saying? Like for sure. But I think that like that was the rebrand where it was like, this is what Christian, you can spot a Christian from a mile away, you know what I'm saying? And it don't have to nothing to do with their character. Look at them. That person goes to church.
Make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you want to go the extra mile, partner with us in our online community to keep more guests like this coming on, to keep us independent, to keep us never having to take a brand deal and make goofy commercials like these.
Our friends at Genucel Skincare have exciting news to celebrate in 2023.
Using Manscaped during my showers after workout has given me much more confidence.
And that's where Mudwater comes in.
True Classic has got your back.
All thanks to the sponsor of today's video, SayMine.com.
Established Titles is your opportunity to earn the title of Laird or Lady. Subject to credit approval, rates range from 7.99% APR to 19.99% APR, included 0.50% auto pay discount.
If you don't want us to make ads with brands you don't care about, sign up for our online community for as little as $5 a month to keep us independent and ultimately answering to you as our boss. You get all sorts of benefits like daily replays of our after party streams, exclusive access to our Discord community, and early access to our podcast interviews, all starting for only $5 a month.